Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another review for you, and this is a brand new product from the brilliant company Man Army, and they make some of the best masks you can buy. They're absolutely awesome. And if you've seen my other reviews on these, I've done the 1/24 scale Spitfire Mark 9 for the Airfix kit. I've done the 1/32 scale Lancaster for the Border Models kit. No doubt you could use that on the HK Models kit as well, because there's size wise there's hardly any difference. Then we've got the other bits and pieces that we've done, and you know, the Revell, the 219. I'm trying to think whether I've done quite a few of them. Go back and have a look. Put One Man Army in my search and you'll see it. And write it as that, One Man Army. It's not one, the word one, it's one, the number one, Man Army. And you'll find them. So this is his latest release. This is the F-35A Lightning II in 32nd scale. It's designed for the artillery kit, but I'm aware that recently Trumpeter have also released the F-35, I think it's the A, so no doubt you could use it on that as well. This set doesn't include masks for ram tape and everything. What this set includes is all your stencil data, stuff like this. And you can see all the little bits and pieces that go all down the side, and as you know, the F-35 is covered in them. And it also includes all the insignia. So these are going to be, I don't have the kit, I've never seen the kit, I've never even seen a review of the kit, I don't even know what it's like. But I believe these will be all the options that you get in the kit instructions. So you've got the 33rd Fighter Wing, US Air Force, USA 2015. The 422nd Test Evaluation Squadron, US Air Force 2016. We've got the 3213 Gruppo, Italy 2017. And then we've got the Royal Australian Air Force 61st Fighter Test Squadron in Williamtown, Australia 2016. So you've got all those choices there, and you can also see you're getting all the shields. And here you've got the Screaming Eagle, you've got the US Air Force, you've got the aircraft serial number, we've got the stars and bars. Here we've got the kangaroo for the Aussie one, and then we've got the Italian insignia there, again with the Screaming Eagle sort of thing. So very, very detailed little set, very, very beautifully done, and as you'll see in a minute, it's gorgeous. So what you get in these sets, pretty generic. You get a card envelope like so, beautifully made, glossy paper, beautifully printed, and this gives you an example on the front, and then inside you get all your instructions about positioning stuff and how to use them. Like for example here, it's a first place FF, so you've got a mask called FF, so you place that, then you build up a frame around it of masking tape, then you remove FF, paint that area white, and then you can put this one in, which is the other FF, and remove the bits of tape to make the black bits, and then take it all away and you've got the white and black done. So it's very, very nicely done. You also get this generic user manual, which we'll go through in a second, but this is the actual sheet you're getting, and you can see, if I hold this up to the light, you can see just how fine some of this stuff is. I mean, you can see that basically there with the Australian insignia, you would basically there put that down, you'd use transfer tape, which we'll cover in a minute, put that down, remove that inner circle, remove the outer square, and spray, or yeah, remove the outer, yeah, you basically put your you'd remove the kangaroo, remove the outer circle, that's right, and leave the inner circle and the outer square in place. It's hard to think in reverse. I don't have the instructions for this kit, so it's not helping me at all. But basically you've got all, you can see down here, we've got all the danger jet exhaust, we've got danger ejection seats. You can see there the logo for the Italian aircraft, and we've got all the shields here for the American aircraft. We've also got our stars and bars across the top there, which are very nice indeed. And then we've got some of the RAM detail there, but that's the only RAM detail you're getting in the set. It's that goes down the side of the fuselage down here. I think that's RAM, I'm not sure what it is. And you've got the big tail flashes there for the Australian one. And then here you've got the nose step, which is very nice. That includes the tiny little dots you can see on the back, that on the edge, sorry, and you'll basically paint all that rather than have decals. And this is the beauty with these sets, you don't use any decals at all, so there's no need to gloss coat. I know some people don't gloss coat anyway, but I always do. So there's no need to gloss coat. You put these down, you mask off around them, you spray them on, and then you've got painted on stencils, and then there's no need to gloss coat to seal the decals in or anything. You can scratch them, weather them, you can paint them whatever colour you want. How many times have we heard people say that the stenciling is the wrong colour in the kit, it's the wrong shade of grey, the wrong shade of red, whatever. We've all seen it with the insignia. You know, we've all seen kits where the blue and the red of the roundels for an RAF World War II Spitfire are just wrong. You know, with sets like this, you don't have to worry about that. So, and also with all this low-vis stuff, you know, you might think that the low-vis should be white, and the decal is more like a sort of off-white. You don't have that problem here. You can paint it white to your heart's content. You can do what you want. You can have it white so it's all bleached, you know, and have the rest of the aircraft bleached, so you can weather your stencils and insignia in with the rest of the aircraft, rather being stuck with the fixed colour of the decal, or decal if you're in America. So there we go. So that's the set, and you can see we've got loads of these number 14s here, the no steps. You've got loads and loads of them. So that is the set there. I've been having a little play, and I've sort of used part of a sheet, so I'm going to go through that in a second, and I'm going to do a demo on how we use this stuff. So basically here we've got the generic user manual. You get this for every set you get, and it's talking about the masking solution. So talking here about preparing the mask. Well, this is what we do. So here I've got a scrap of masking tape. In fact, I can show you, I've already done it here. So basically what he's suggesting is you lift up the bottom left corner of your mask, as I've done here, and you put a scrap of masking tape under it, and then when you put it on the model, that makes it easy to just come along with a knife or with something, you just get underneath that tape and lift it off. So you're not trying to fish around and get it off and scratch your model. So that's the first tip. Sorry guys, I had a cough there. And then basically here what he's talking about, you can see you've got this sort of series of dotted lines which would be like a walkway, and you can see that what he's seeing in here is a piece of mask is stuck underneath there. So basically just put it down on a surface, fish under it with a nice sharp pair of tweezers. I recommend these things are amazing, the Anise Super Precision Tweezers, they're absolutely brilliant. We'll probably use those in a minute. And that's that. Preparing the model for placing the masks, rather than just sort of pick up the model and try and bang the mask on there and get it right, it's best to go along like he's done here with a piece of tape, set it up where it's going to go, set up your line where it's going to be horizontal or whatever angle you're going to have the decal on, or the number on, in this case 27, and then mark the position. And then what you can do is when you come along to put your mask, you can just place it down against that tape. You know you've got it square, you know it's in the right position, it goes down. Here with the no steps, if you want to get them equally spaced, put a piece of tape down. That way you know you'll get them all in line. They won't be all like this all over the place, they'll all be in line, and you've got the markings there where each one goes. This one here is great for symmetrical things, if you want to do something on the back of the wing or on the other side of the aircraft. So basically here he's put the mask in place where he wants it. Then he's got a triangular piece, it doesn't have to be a triangle, it could be a scrap piece or whatever, a piece of tape. And what he's doing is marking on there where those panel lines come. So he's marking the panel lines there and there. Okay, and then he's put a V there, which picks up on the dot on there. Okay, so that's the center of the no step. And then what you do is peel that off, turn it over, put another piece of masking tape on it, and you can put it on the other side of the wing, and you know where that no step's going to go exactly the same. In this case with no step, it wouldn't be the other side of the wing, obviously you're not going to have no step on the underside. This would be the other side, so this would be in this case the port wing. You would actually have your no step in exactly the same place, so you get good symmetry. Transfer tape, it's good to read all this. This is one thing I would read thoroughly if I were you before you use these sets. Transfer tape is all about two things. One, it's holding the shape of the decal, and also it's making it sure that the masks are not the decal, and also it's making sure that everything stays in place. So for example, if you fish out this number, these numbers here to give you the number 3, which is what he's done here, okay, then he's put the transfer tape on. If you didn't put the transfer tape on, when you pick it up, it will go all out of shape, and it will be very, very difficult to keep it square and have the 3 straight rather than being all like lopsided and everything. So you put some transfer tape over the top, peel it off, and then you lay that down on your model, and then you peel the transfer tape off. Okay, transfer tape can be any masking tape. I tend to use this one. This is the Mr. Masking Tape Low Adhesion 10mm. That's what I use. It works really, really well. I'm going to show you in a minute. And you take that tape off, and then you've got your mask in place, nice and square, all nice and in position. Same here, you've got a big circle here. We want to keep it round. So what we've done, we've removed the circle from the mask when it's still on the sheet. Put the transfer tape over the top. Keeps the circle round. Put it on your model. Do the same with the star. Transfer the star to the circle. Put it down. Okay, so what you would do here, for example, in this case you would spray this white, okay, and then you would put your transfer tape on your star, put your star on, and spray that in there, black or blue, whatever colour it's going to be, and then you end up with a perfectly round circle of white, and you end up with a perfectly positioned triangle, star, what am I talking about, that remains in shape. You can imagine if you didn't do that with transfer tape, it would all just go out of shape. So that's basically your generic instructions. So what we're getting with this set, as I say, we're getting lots and lots. Let's get the other one out actually, because I don't have the masking sheet in the way. So what we're getting in here is lots and lots of stencil work. You've got the no steps and everything. You've got certain areas here which you need to sort of concentrate on. It confused me. You've got a dotted line shown here, and I actually emailed Sven and said I don't have this dotted line. Have you missed? Is there something missing in my set? And that dotted line is just to portray the outer edge of the tail plane. So it's just showing you where it all goes. And you've got numbers here. You've got all these lifting eyes here. You can see if we go to the sheet, we've got all these tiny little lifting eyes here. You can see number 20. There you go, but above where those triangles are missing, you can see those little lifting eyes. So as I say, it's going to be absolutely amazing. I can show you some results. This here, 13, this is from the 219 set. Okay, and then this here, this is with the World War II German fuel filler symbol. So that is, first of all, that's a white triangle, then that's masked, a yellow triangle sprayed, and then that's masked, and the black A2 is painted in there. So that is all paint, there's no decal, that's 3 layers of paint there. And then after it's finished, you can come along with a sanding stick, sand it off, whatever. They work really, really well. He sent me these which work really, really well as well, to show you how it all goes. So you can see here, we've got 3 of the shields there. You've got 3 of the shields across the top. We've got the eagle. So you can see what you do is you use transfer tape, you put the eagle down, and then you pick away at the claws and everything, and make sure you pick away the right bits. And then when you spray that, pull that all away, and you end up with your low-vis eagle marking. This is the, I think it's RAM on the side, but you can see how fine this tape is in these areas. It's absolutely incredible. And then you've got your aircraft serial number there, which is beautiful. Here we've got the no step, and you can see there we've got the tiny little squares going around the marking. We've got the jet exhaust there, so we're basically going to put this mask down, spray our colour, and then put that triangle inside there and spray the underneath colour, so you end up with your low vis jet exhaust sign. There's one of your lifting eyes there, danger arresting hook, rescue. So turn forward master latch and aft master latch to open door. And then here we've got the stars and bars in the low vis style. So as you can see, very, very crisp, very clean, very sharp, beautiful, beautiful masks. And the other thing I was thinking while I was looking at this set, even if you don't have, desire, want, need or whatever an F-35, a lot of this stuff that's on here is going to be pretty generic. You know, your ejections, your no steps, you've got your kangaroos there, you've got your stars and bars, we've got all these no steps here, lots and lots of bits and pieces that are going to be sort of pretty generic. And I have actually suggested to Sven that he does a generic US Air Force fighter scheme, you know, with all the generic symbols on, because let's face it, they're all going to be pretty much the same, aren't they? So let's see how that goes. So yeah, looking in here, you've got all this stuff, all these little bits and pieces of stencils, and it's best to read the instructions, weed, arrow, contour and apply transfer tape. So you're going to weed it off before you put it down, or you can weed it off after you put it down, but it's probably best to weed it off before you put it down. The masking paper will lift from here a lot easier than it will from your model, because it's this backing paper is obviously designed to let it lift, whereas when they stick down to your model, they do stick very well. I don't think any of these would be reusable, because when you remove them, you're just going to destroy them. So that's something you might want to try with your stars and bars and stuff, but I very much doubt it would work. So there we go. So what I intend to do now is do a little demo, and hopefully this will go well. But being that the camera's on, it will probably be a complete disaster. I will warn you, this is not an easy process. This is not for the faint-hearted, and it is not to be rushed. But what Sven does with most of his sets, you will see that some of the masks have an X on them. You see on here there is, if I can get it to focus, you see there is an X there. There is an X there, an X there. We've got X's everywhere. And you've got additional masks that you put in there, they're spares. Now you normally get more than this, like in the Second World War stuff and that, you get more. But we've got spare stars and bars there, look. So my plan is, I'm going to do it in reverse. Now, I know that on the F-35, as you can see here, it's a darker colour, and then they put a lighter colour low vis. The American ones are pretty much the same. I'm going to do this, okay? Light grey background with the dark grey numbering, or lettering, should I say, and then the light grey in there. Purely because I've got this here, which is done in Mr. Surfacer, and I've done that purposely for the purposes of this demonstration. So, we'll start off with the stars and bars. So, as you can see here, if I try and remove all that from there, okay, and then lift that decal up, it's just going to fall to bits. It's not going to, so I keep calling it decal, it's a mask. If I try and lift that mask up on its own, it's all just going to fall apart and it's going to lose its shape. So what we do, come along with some transfer tape, and what I've done, I've cut some transfer tape here, purely for ease of use. Let's get those out of the way. And what I'm going to do is pick up this transfer tape. I'm going to get my nice tweezers out. Here we go, Mr. Prepared as always. And I'm going to pick up this masking tape. And I'm going to place it over. Now the reason I've cut this masking tape to length is if you go over onto the next mask, then what happens is you'll pick that one up as well. So you need to be very careful not to do that. So we're going to put that over there, like so. Okay, rub it down. And then the next one here, I didn't cut it quite long enough, but it's only got to pick up the lower part of that circle. So we can put that one down on there, just like so. Okay. Yeah, if you I found this out to my horror yesterday. I put some tape over there when I was making a video. I've thrown the video away. This is the third time I've tried to film this. What I found was it just lifted everything off. So be careful not to let the tape overlap. You could perhaps cut it out or something. So what we can do now is grab the mask, not the transfer tape, the mask. Get under the corner. In fact, what I need to do is get under this corner, don't I? So we're going to get under there. Get a scrap piece of masking tape, cut from here. Okay, we'll have that sticky side up, and we'll just lay that under there, and now I've got an easily lift-upable corner. Lift-upable a word? So we can just gently pull that away from there, and you can see how easy that pulled that next one off as well. So you can see now we've got this mask all in one piece. Okay, it's all in one piece. I shouldn't have stuck it to my finger. I may regret that. But basically, we've got that mask there all in one piece. So I can get this paper out of the way. I can come along and I can place this down on my wing here, and I can get it nice and square with that panel line. And there we go. And then rub it down. Give it a good hard rub. Ooh, misses. Okay, and then when we peel the transfer tape away, the actual mask will stay in one piece. The reason being, this is a low tack masking tape. You can use ordinary masking tape, and what I recommend is stick it on your hand a couple of times to remove some glue. And then what it is, the glue in here sticks to the front of there, and the glue on this tape is stronger than the glue between here and here, because this is designed to allow it to lift. Then when you place it on your model, the adhesion between the mask and your model is stronger than the adhesion between this and the mask. So it makes the perfect transfer tape. I'll just say again, the adhesion between this and the mask is stronger than the adhesion between the mask and this, the paper. When you put it on your model, the adhesion between the mask and this, the adhesion between the mask and the model is stronger than the adhesion between the mask and this. And that's why it's good to use a low tack masking tape. So what we can do now is come along here. I can't think which way around this has got to be now. I'm going to take away this, aren't I? So I'm going to take away, just pick this out of here. This is called weeding. So I can weed this out of here, as you can see. And then leave behind the star and the bars. Okay, so there we go. So that can now go in the bin, the bit that I just weeded out. So now you can see we've got our mask there, all nicely rubbed down. Okay, and if you really want to make sure it's gone down, you make sure you've got the edges sealed, piece of paper over the top. You can really rub it down. Okay, don't try and rub it with your fingers, you'll lift the corner. And then I'm going to do one of these ejection seat marks as well. So here we've got where these are so well cut, the actual sensors are falling out of them. So what I'm going to do is this one here, I'm going to do a jet exhaust. So we've got that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there. Yeah, I'm going to use this one here. So as I say, I've pre-cut some tape. I've pre-cut some tape so that I can avoid lifting the next one, and I'm going to use transfer tape on here only because I want it to stay in shape. We're not worried about, you know, having all the bits stay together relative to each other, but I'm frightened if I take it off, because it's just got a hollow center, it's going to go out of shape. And the other thing I need to do is come along here, get a piece of scrap tape, there we go, and we'll get that under there. Sticky side up, get it under just like that, there we go. And now we can lift that mask off of there, and we can place that on here, and I'm going to put it nice and square to that panel line there. Okay, and then I can rub it down, and then I can remove my transfer tape and leave the mask in place. Right, so now we're going to paint this with a dark grey. I know it's the wrong way round for an F-35, but bear with me. So we're going to paint this with a dark grey. So I'm going to, sorry guys, the battery went there midstream. So yeah, basically use those bits of masking tape I had here, here and here, and I've got some just other bits of masking tape there just to mask off the surrounding area so we don't get grey overspray anywhere else. So they're all down now, so we can get the grey paint down. So what I'm going to do is get some, I'm going to use LP, it's not accurately the correct colour, but it's just for a demonstration. I'm going to use LP27, which I've previously mixed with about 60% leveling thinners. So I'm going to spray that on there. I'll show you how we do the spraying. We'll do a bit of spraying on camera, and then I'll do the rest in the booth because it stinks. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I've got the airbrush with a drop of paint in there now. Nothing much, you don't need much. Just going to blow it back through, make sure there's nothing untoward. Do a little test there. Yeah, we're fine. I recommend having the paint fairly thin, sort of 50-60% thinners at least. We can do a little test on that masking tape there. And you can also hear that I've got the pressure quite low. The pressure's on about 15 psi. You don't want to go blasting it on. And then the other thing I suggest, as I'll show you now, is when you paint it, but come in on angles, come in all the angles, so you get a nice sharp line up to the tape. If you do this, obviously you'll end up with a sharp line there and a soft line here. So, and it needs to be very, very light application. So here we go, I'm going very, very light. You can see it's hardly even changing the colour. And hopefully there you can see what I'm talking about, where we've got across there, across the top of that star, it's quite soft, and yet down the bottom it's quite hard. So we come in from different angles, keep the paint very light, And here's another benefit with this: if you wanted to make this look all bleached and everything, you could leave it like that. Just leave it with hardly any paint on there, like it's all been bleached or worn away or whatever. Just checking the airbrush, check the flow. As you can hear, there's hardly any pressure, there's hardly any paint, and then I'm just going to come straight at it just to fill the colour in, keeping it dry. You don't want to go flooding it, you want it to stay dry. And then when it comes down here, again, we're going to come in from different angles to make sure the paint gets into those tiny little letters where it says danger. We need to make sure we stay in those letters, get it all in, right in there. Okay, you don't want to be just, you don't just want to like this. You want to be moving it around, keeping the angles, and get it all good. We'll just give that another quick flash over. As you can see, I've used hardly any paint whatsoever. Okay, and there we go. That's that done. Alright, we're not going to do any more with that now. We'll leave that. And I'm happy when I look at those, I'm happy that I've got paint down in there. Just to make sure, you can see how lightly I'm painting it when I go on the masking tape. You can see there's hardly anything coming out. There we go. And you can see I've still got pretty much the same amount of paint in there as I started with. So I'll let that dry now for half an hour, and then we'll come in and do the other little bit in the danger sign. Just for a bit of fun, I've got that one off. That's the eagle from the Aussie scheme, and picked out. You can see where you can see the grey, or this is Hilo green that I've mixed coming through. Where you can see that coming through, that's where I've picked out the mask, and you can see the pile here. This is the pile of masking tape that's been moved out. So this is where these precision tweezers come in. They're absolutely brilliant for getting in there. But we're going to paint that with the grey that we're going to use in there, and we'll see how good it looks. So I'm going to give this a few more minutes just to dry off, and then I'm going to come off. I'm going to use the Mr. Surfacer, which is extremely thin, and we'll see how we get on with that. So there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to take off this one here, which is jet exhaust. It's not ejection seat, but I'm taking this one off because these are the ones that are falling apart, so I want to use them. Now obviously on your model you're going to have to get the orientation right, but where I am, it doesn't really matter where I put it. So I'm going to get this, in fact I'm going to do this under the magnifier, so I'm sorry if you can't see what I'm actually doing, but I need to see what I'm doing obviously because I've got to do it. So we're going to get that triangle to fit exactly into there. And I'm pretty sure that is in the right place. I think it may want to go down a bit. As I say, I made the mistake of pushing. Once you push it down, that's it. But obviously on your model you're going to take the time, you're going to get it accurately, perfectly in position. And then what we need to do is grab some masking tape and cover the danger signs, because obviously, well in fact we're going to cover the whole. What we'll do is we'll mask in that triangle just in case we have got it slightly off. And obviously we need to cover the danger because we have previously sprayed that grey, and we also need to cover our stars and bars. So there we go. So we can come in with some Mr. Surfacer, got that here, over it in the airbrush, very very thin, tiny little drop in there, just blow it back through, make sure there's nothing sticking in the end, and then just do a little test on our masking tape. See again, very low pressure, so we just come in here and paint in that jet exhaust. And now you can see it a lot more defined. You can see the word jet exhaust there. So again I'm going to come in Just make sure we've got very low flow. Come in at the angles, make sure the paint gets into all the corners. And then do the same up here. Again, going around all the angles, making sure the paint gets well and truly in there. Which is why you keep it dry, because if you wet it and you're blowing like this, you'll blow the paint underneath the masking tape. I think I've got a bit of fluff or something there, I think. Just blow that back in. There we go. That's that done. Another quick blast on there. And we're going to leave that for just a couple of minutes to dry, and in the meantime I can clean my airbrush out. There we go. So once again we can have a look at that. See how lovely that is. I've peeled all the masking tape out of that, and done a few little scratches and everything. I probably should have left the paint to dry longer, but I want to get this video out there. But you can see the kind of effect you can get. It just looks so much better than the decal. We keep talking about decals, we'll after that painted on look. Well, that's a painted on look because it's painted on. So yeah, really, really nice. I love that, how that star bar came out. And this one here is beautiful. It's a shame I got the triangle a little out. Trying to think maybe in future it would be an idea to just quickly wipe over the decal lightly with a very lightly moistened cloth to remove the paint so you can see the edge better. That's something I'll have a go at in future. This is one of those things that you're going to use and you're just going to improve as time goes on, and you'll learn and learn and learn. Like I learnt when I did this, I put some yellow down first to get the red to shine, but it's quite deep, so it's almost like a decal. You've almost got like a lump there. So but you know, with this you can see I've learnt how to use the transfer tape and everything. That's the only time I've used these, is there, these rings here and that, and that's it. I started to use these other ones, this FF, and sort of tried to do some clever stuff and messed them up. So, but anyway, there we are, guys. That's it. So really worth having. That has been a review of this set here. This is reference 32 DET 809. If you're in the UK, this is available from Hannants. I'll put a rolling script up now of where you can get them from around the world. And also Sven is looking for other major stockists if you want to stock them. So get in touch with him at www.onemanarmy.be over in Belgium. And I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. So there we go. So thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that. It's something, it's taking your modelling to the next level, but it's one of those, for me it's kind of, I know people are going to say what's the point when you can get a really good decal set and solution, you can put the decal down, you know, seal it and everything's fine. What's the point in making scale models? It's time killing, it's entertainment, it's getting something really accurate, it's building a masterpiece, and what better masterpiece are you going to get than if you've got painted on decals, painted on insignia, whatever. I think it's absolutely amazing. And as I say, you can weather, I mean, I can come along now here with a sanding stick and sand this and get it absolutely flat. I know you can sand decals, but you can't sand them that flat. Do the same with that one, do the same with that one, and you can get them absolutely dead flat. There is nothing there, but as you can see on this one, I can sand it and it will take the paint away from the panel line, it will chip it, it makes it look quite realistic and worn and chipped. And the same with that one, I should be able to do the same with that. There we go. And that's what's that? It's a 1500 grit sponge, an Infinity sponge. So there you are. Sky's the limit. You can imagine if you've done this in the sort of red, white and blue and everything, you can sand that and really blend it out. Really, really nice. Really, really nice. And beautiful. I know you can get your mass sets like your DN model sets and that for all your big insignia on your Lancasters and your Spitfires and everything else. But these little masks here make all the difference, I think. So there we go. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. Like I say, I've put the list up now. You've seen where you can get them from. So stay tuned for more reviews. I've got another review of another One Man Army product coming very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. It's another 1/24th scale, and I hope you'll enjoy it. As I say, if you're in the UK, you can get this pre-order now from Hannants. Hannants have actually got some of these coming in. So I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.